Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Bald Chin here. Today, I thought we could watch some of the footage from the recent protest in Hong Kong at the airport, um, and then, kind of have my thoughts on it, point some things out that I noticed, um, and then go on to kind of compare the recent events in Hong Kong to another series of events that happened a couple hundred years ago. Let's get right started. Let's get started.
Follow and where you are. I mean, where you and your crew
well.
are, is it
People are
secure?
trying
Is
to
it safe?
Now, I'm just gonna preference this by saying, um, the riot police are kind of surrounding and kind of coming into the entrances, and the protesters, are meeting them at full force to stop that.
Well, I mean, we're in an international airport, so you would imagine we would be safe. We're taking a look at these images of people coming in, and they're telling everybody to move back. But once again, you have to bear in mind there are passengers inside this airport that haven't managed to get on a plane, that have been waiting to get on a plane. And you can see the riot police outside the window right there. The protesters were correcting that. The riot police are now running towards the entrance of Hong Kong International Airport. These are remarkable scenes. There are passengers in this airport. Yes, there are protesters, but there are people who are waiting to get on a flight.
So, the thing I want to point out is, first of all, yeah, all those lights are laser pointers. They are using laser pointers to fend off the riot police, and they were pretty successful at that. Um, but another thing is that they're not moving and reacting like a protest or protesters. They're acting like an organized uh, group of people with a plan, almost like an unarmed militia. Imagine the damage that these people could do if they were just given weapons. The Chinese government should be shitting their pants right now.
And you can see these green and blue lights. This is lasers that protesters are trying to use to put the police off. And you can see that.
And they successfully defended the airport from the riot police. Look, this isn't just protests. This isn't just what the Yellow Vest protests were. The Yellow Vest protesters were fighting for, yes, a better future, but they still had the opportunity or the ability to potentially fix it via the ballot box. The people of Hong Kong kind of realize that they don't. That this is their only opportunity to secure the freedoms that they've already had. It's another thing that the Chinese government kind of goofed up on. That's what makes this a little bit different from Tibet or the Tiananmen Square protests. The people of Hong Kong have been free, just not very free lately. And they're willing to fight for that, to put their bodies on the line for that, probably even their lives. And they're showing that here. So moving on, I wanted to compare this group of protests to another group of, let's call them protests, or protests leading up to the more famous event, which is the American Revolution. Look, both of these early protests, because this is what this could be, a revolution in the early stages, had rallying cries. Well, the American Revolution had the Boston Massacre. That was used to spark hatred or discontent within the people of America towards the British, and that was very successful. What is the uh, Hong Kong protests symbol? The rallying cry. Well, it seems to be the one-eyed nurse, the nurse that was shot with a rubber bullet or a beanbag that had severe damage, might have even lost her eye. Well, one of the days on the Hong Kong protest in the airport, they had pictures and messaging of that. They used that as a symbol, as a rallying cry to get people on their side. And that was very successful, especially because they had the nurses from local hospitals come out to protest with the normal protesters. Well, how about the airport? How about what's going on with them occupying the airport? Well, it's a form of economic protest. It's a form of disrupting the economy of the area to show the ruling class or the ruling regime that you're discontent, and you're going to make the ruling regime suffer as well, as long as you don't get what you want. Well, we saw that in the American Revolution as well, with the Boston Tea Party. A group of Americans decided, hey, we're going to disrupt Britain economically as an economic protest. And then what did the British do in response to that? Harsher crackdown, tightened the freedoms that they already had, and sent in troops. What are the Chinese probably going to do? Well, they already have troops on the northernmost border of China, ready to go into Hong Kong. And I doubt the Chinese are going to give in. If anything, they're going to crack down very hard like they've done in the past with Tibet or with Tiananmen Square. But why is this going to be different? Because they're already meeting violence with violence. If China starts shooting Hong Kong protesters in the streets, the people of Hong Kong are just going to start making weapons and fighting back. That's what it seems like as of right now. And realistically speaking, I don't see the people of Hong Kong just giving up and just withering out or dwindling numbers like what happened in Paris and France. I don't see it happening like in previous revolutions or protests within China, like in Tibet or Tiananmen Square, where it's just put down. I honestly think it's going to be similar to the American Revolution. Another thing, and this is going to be the last thing, a lot of the materials that they're using, the gas masks, the laser pointers, water, the materials that it takes to protest, it's not being bought by the students. It's being bought and funded. This protest is being funded by older, wealthier generations of Hong Kong domestically. It has domestic funding. And that is probably the biggest thing because it shows that not only the people, not only the lowest tier or the poorest tier or the weakest tier socioeconomically, it's mainly college kids, as long as they have the support of the rest of the population, the population with financial backing that can back them and help them financially. We saw this in the Revolutionary War as well. So I don't know if it's going to escalate, but I kind of hope it does, because this with the Yellow Vest protest, as well as with the protest that happened in Moscow, 60,000 people just a couple days ago. I don't think the next couple decades are going to be too kind to authoritarians. I think that with more information and more freedoms kind of being shown, I think more and more people are going to show discontent with their governments. That's going to lead to not good things for authoritarians. And I am excited, and I cannot wait. Um, but yeah, that's going to be it for today, or tonight, actually. It's about midnight. Um, but until next time, guys, peace, stay freezy, never cheesy. Peace, y'all.